So it's that time of year when it's time to start looking at your next year's business budget. Now, you might tell me right now, Kevin, I don't do budgets in my business. And you know what? That's where you probably have fallen off the mark. You understand that budgets are critically important for business success. I like how Dave Ramsey defines a budget. He says that a budget is basically telling your money where to go. And it's the same concept in business. And you see, the problem is that a budget is a lot of work to put together. If the problem is if you don't put the work in, you're not telling your money where to go, and therefore what happens is that you just go month to month and hope, wish, and pray that you're making profit in your business. And if you are making a profit, could it even be more? And so I want to talk a little bit today about the fundamentals of putting together a business budget for your business. Now think about this. When you don't do a budget, what happens? You really have no control of where your money is going. Number two, you have no defined targets of what you want to achieve, so you're really losing control of your financial stability of your business. And number three, you could be going down the tubes and you'd never know it because you're just spending money randomly. You see, when you have a budget, you can really define exactly what do I want to achieve. You can measure its effectiveness, and it helps you gain control of your business on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis so that you can achieve the success that you want out of your business. So let's talk about three major important things that you need to keep in mind when you do a business. The first one is that you need to define your revenue and profit goals for the year. So the very first thing you do is you sit down and you say, okay, what is it that I want to accomplish for the year? What top end revenue do I want to hit? And then therefore, what profit? And so I actually do it the other way around. I would establish a profit goal first. So the first thing I do is, let's say my profit goal is 200,000. And knowing what my general margins and expenses are, I'm probably going to have therefore 2 million in revenue. Can that be done? Well, I don't know. We're an individual business. But you always ask yourself, therefore, what is that profit? Therefore, what revenue am I going to need to achieve that? And does it make sense? And can it be done? The second thing is that you start breaking down your monthly revenue targets and expenses. And so one of the most important things is to look at, okay, how much revenue do I plan on bringing in on a monthly basis? Now you're going to take a look at what different services do I do in my business, and therefore what sort of revenue will come from each one of those services. I see too many budgets where the revenue is just one big sum and it's not broken down into the different components so that you can look at and said, okay, do I want to grow this part of the business or keep this growth flat? It's up to you. But if you just lump it into sales, it doesn't really tell us anything. So you need to take a look at that. And also we need to take a look at the concept of seasonality. So you have to take a look at, okay, are there going to be seasons that are up or down? Your budget needs to reflect the ups and downs of the business so you know what's going on. It's not enough just to throw it up against the wall. One of the things I always like to do is go back a couple of years and take a look at those trends and say, are these trends consistent, and do I need to incorporate them into my annual budget? And now one thing that you be careful about, though, is just copy and paste the revenue expenses from last year and put it into the upcoming year. No, a budget is an aspirational tool. You need to see if you can push the envelope. Therefore, you need to see, hey, what can I do to get better at making profits? Does that mean I can get better at adding more revenue in the business? Does that mean I can get better at defining my cost of goods sold and improving my gross profit? And are there expenses that need to be cut out? Or if I'm going to add fixed expenses, do I have the revenue to support that? So you need to really take a look at that level of refinement. The third thing you need to take a look at in your budgeting is to have a system to measure results with a budget versus actuals. You see, a budget isn't really that useful of a tool unless you use it every single month. When I am coaching a client, one of the things that I do is I always take a look at what actually happened in that month compared to the budget that they had. What's the variance between the two? And we start asking why. What happened? And perhaps the budget was initially wrong. They just didn't, that was not reality. Okay, fine, we'll change the budget next year. Or was the budget really nailed down, but at the end of the day, we just didn't execute that well in that particular area. So what areas of improvement that we can get? So one of the things that we have to do is we have to bring this budget to life as much as possible. Now, my usual rule of thumb is that it takes about 3 years to really start nailing the budget down. Year one, it's a poop storm. It's not very good. You missed it by a mile because this is the first time. The second, okay, it's better. It's still kind of a mess, but it's better. The third year, you really gotten it refined down. And starting year 4, usually you can nail it. I've had clients I've worked for years, and a lot of them just said, okay, Kevin, this is how much profit we're going to make next year, and here's the game plan. And sure enough, it happens. Now, with COVID, that was an exception. That didn't happen. But most of the time, it actually does happen. So in the end, what you need to really look at is setting aside time to do that. Now, there are budgeting tools that you can use out there. Some people like using the budget tool inside of QuickBooks. Some people do, some people don't. Others use spreadsheets. Others use other online tools. At the end of the day, it's important for you to actually get it done. One of the things I've developed is I've developed a budget versus actual tool based on Excel, which is really, really simple. Is it ideal? No. Nothing is ideal in Excel, but it's simple. And remember this, sometimes simple is sophisticated. So if you are a business owner and you're struggling with this concept of putting a budget together and it's daunting and you're just stressed out about it, give me a call. Go ahead and schedule a 30-minute strategy session with me. I'll walk through some specifics with your budget, give you some ideas, and help you to actually get a budget started. I certainly can't help you finish it, but I can get it started. And then again, if you need additional coaching, we can see what that looks like for you. But my first role is I need to help you get that budgeting process started. So go ahead, book the strategy call in, let's talk, and I hope I can help you. Go out there, get that budget done, and make it a great day.